In part one of the emergency toilet series, we talked about converting your toilet into an emergency porta potty. Now we're going to give you some more really important details. Stay tuned. Hey, Provident Preppers, I'm Jonathan. And to me, toilets are just so awesome. We don't even think about it, but we just use them. But you go talk to somebody who has lived for an extended period of time using a pit toilet or an outhouse, especially in the winter. We have it really good. So we're going to talk a little bit more today about using our toilet as an emergency toilet, and we have some really important details. So stay tuned, and we're going to go through this, and there will be a part 3. Let's get started by talking about some important plumbing concepts. You guys have probably seen these. This is a P-trap. No, silly, it's not for that. It's because it makes a P when you put these parts together like this. This is a P-trap, and these do an awesome job of catching wedding rings and earrings and all kinds of stuff that goes down into here. But that's not the main purpose for a P-trap. The main purpose for a P-trap is to come down from your drain and have a water trap right here that doesn't let the sewer gases come up and make our lives miserable. Now, with that in mind, let's talk about our toilets and how they work. Water in this tank, when we hit the flush valve, that water runs down, and I love this toilet because you can see the path that this stuff takes. It's just so awesome for an engineer anyway. But you can see that water brings this up here, up high enough to get over that hill, and it creates a suction that pulls all that waste down. Now you can kind of think of it like a miniature log ride, pun intended, or let's call it a mini splash mountain, pun also intended. And you can just picture those little bacterias and all the stuff with their hands raised up high, screaming and yelling as they wildly race down to the septic system or the sewer system. But I digress. This toilet allows us to use a P-trap, which is right about here. So we have a P-trap in our toilet. We don't typically have one below the floor. The water in the tank, in the bowl, is the P-trap. Now, if we convert this toilet like we talked about in part 1, we're going to sanitize the bowl, and then we're going to evacuate all the water. And what have we done? We've lost the trap. That allows gases and perhaps even critters and all kinds of crazy stuff to come into our home. We don't want that. So what we have to do is plug the hole. You're probably wondering what I have on my arm. Stay tuned, you will figure out very soon. But let's talk about some creative ways that we could plug the hole. I went to the dollar store and I found this little ball that was deflated. I thought, okay, that could work. So I'm putting it in this jar as if this was a toilet. I put that in there, pump it up, and it's not a perfect still, but it's pretty darn close. It would do actually a really good job. So there's one option. You can get these test ball plugs. Plumbers use these all the time. Now this one's probably just a little big for the toilet, but they make all sizes, all the way from like 1 inch up to very, very large. So this would be an option. This goes down in the toilet, gets pumped up. Now you have to be very careful with these because these are incredibly powerful. So you're only going to pump that up just enough to make a nice seal around that hole. Now these are about 30 or 40 bucks. So, you know, not the best price, but if that's what you want to do, then get it and practice it and use it that way. You could even use dirt. Now remember, when everything returns to normal, we're going to want to pull that back out. So you would want some kind of a soil that has a little bit of cohesion to it. Something, for example, dry sand will still allow gases to infiltrate through, but you know, something with a little bit of body to it that you could mold in and plug that hole. But probably my favorite is this. Very simple. Some shortening, some rags, and we would just take a wad of that shortening and infiltrate it into these rags, because what we're wanting is a tight seal, and we're wanting something that's malleable. So we would get these all greased up, and this is where the fun happens. And then we have this greasy wad of rags inside this old stocking, and this can be pushed down in there and molded to make this a nice tight seal. This is probably the one that we'll use. It's very simple, very inexpensive, but get creative. Remember the goal, plug the hole. So there you have it. Some important facts about plumbing and how your toilet works and how you can convert that to an emergency porta-potty. Because remember, this is bolted to the ground. You're not trying to balance on a bucket. It's stable, it's comfortable, it's something we're used to. It's just a great way to go. So now the question of the day, what are you going to use for your emergency toilet and how are you going to plug the hole? Comment below. And thanks for being part of the solution.